ஆரம்பிக்கலாமா? Hello everybody. Unfortunately, my recording fucked up twice now, and so I will just be a disembodied voice. Enjoy. I still think the best part of the movie is Lokesh Kanagaraj and his amazing directing and writing.
In terms of the writing, it does a very interesting choice of making the entire first half feel more like a thriller, and the second half feels very much like an action movie. He gets rid of most of the songs in the first half itself, and the second half is like purely for action. It goes fucking crazy and it's really fun. The way he used that robotic camera is so smooth. Like every time there's like a punch there, in fact it goes here, it's like goes there. It is so cool. This is something that I wish more filmmakers do with like more old stars. They just give him a role that is old and not pretend like he's just a young 40-year-old, 30-year-old or something. You can still tell like a fun mass story with that. Like here he has a grandson and he's rescuing him. You can still understand that.
Make use of the fact that they're old rather than treat it like a detriment. Even though there's all this hype of a cinematic universe and cameos, there is an actual story here. There are characters who want things and who don't want certain things to happen. Most of the like new action movies, their whole shtick is that, yeah man, we're like action, like we're turn your brain off kind of thing. And now we're going to space. All of that, which is not how you make a good action movie. A story with weight will make any action scene all the more better by default because you're actually invested in it.
The stunts people, the cinematographer, the editor, all of them come together for such a like orchestra of fights. It's beautiful.
Even the cinematography was also like gorgeous.
Even the normal conversation scenes seem so cool because it's always like lit so well. It's like shot in interesting ways or like staged in interesting ways. There are so many montages in this movie and they're all so clean. They have to give so much information with such precise shots. It's so good.
And it's very efficient, this movie. The story is constantly moving through. Every day has like a certain point and it just cuts to the next day so smoothly.
The way it reveals information is also very sparse, and so it helps in pacing the movie and it helps in establishing that essence of it's a ghost. Unlike in like Lokesh's first movie where it constantly keeps bringing into attention that there are multiple threads of story happening and all that. Here, even though that is happening, he never tries to show off in a way. It just feels very organic. The story has like enough seriousness for you to take the action seriously, but it also has enough sense of humor to make it very entertaining.
Yeah, it's not a joke that's taking place outside of the scene and it's kind of dragged in to make it funny. The movie has a good flavor because of its sense of humor, because when fucked up shit starts happening, it hits all the more harder.
Performances by all the actors were fucking great. Fahad Fasil definitely stole the show. His character itself had the most proper arc in the story and he did such a good job. Kamal Haasan too, I think, was fucking good. It was nice that he, even though he's the main hero and all that, he was okay being like the secondary character of sorts for the most part of the movie and like letting the story flow well rather than being like, hey, I'm a star, I need to be there in every scene.
Definitely feels more of like a filmmaker's movie than an actor's movie. There's all this talk like, oh, Lokesh Kanagaraj is such a fanboy of Kamal sir, and here the way he celebrates his idol is so organically written into the script. You feel it. You feel how cool he is. Vijay Sethupathiy's character was pretty cool too. He was kind of overshadowed by both Fahad Fasil and Kamal Haasan, but it's not for bad reasons or anything. It's just that the way his character is, his performance is still like entertaining as hell and really, really cool.
He definitely feels very different from the character he played in Master, and here also he has like a good power up. The way he uses even the more smaller characters, it's very cool. Yeah, I think that is one of his trademarks where he just like gives like this random like small character like this insane scene where everyone is like, oh fuck, he stole the scene, and it never feels like just so this gimmicky. Especially in this movie, it doesn't feel gimmicky at all because there's very strong narrative reasons why these like moments happen. There's also a lot of satisfying violence in this movie. It does not pull punches at all. With its opening, it establishes very clearly that, hey, this is not a movie where anyone's safe. You are gonna get consequence, be ready for it.
Yeah, it is a ballsy opening.
Yeah. I just like that the protagonists in all his movies are not like noble people out there to do good for the people. How in most Mahesh Babu movies where he's just like always noble, like banks are also great people, everyone is great. Here they're very clear, like motivated by self-interest rather than the greater good of society. And it's always much more engaging and interesting to watch something like that.
Yeah, because you're watching an actual person. How many people are altruistic Jesus people?
I think Anirudh'S music was fantastic. Like the songs were fucking great. Leaving the score here and there, like compared to the master score, this didn't feel so memorable for me personally. Yeah, the Lokesh Kanagaraj universe seems very promising.
I think the opening of the movie is kinda rough. The title drop is pretty great. The events leading to the title drop are cool. But the way it's cut, it's especially like kinda clunky. Because there is two openings technically. There's one where, there's that like zoom out and it says like Ulaganayak and Kamal Hassan. Then there's the way the movie actually opens. And then there's another opening with the song. And then there's the events leading to the title drop, which is like very fucking clunky. But after that, the movie flows.
There are points in the second half that do drag on for a little bit. There's one monologue by Kamal Hassan that straight up goes for like till 5 minutes. It feels like 10 minutes. He's just like going on about what is the philosophy, about evolution, about monkeys. It is not fun. You can see that the writer man is also aware that it is very on the nose, and after that it's done, he's like,
sorry boys, I'm lecturing. We know you're lecturing us.
There was that, and just before the big fight towards the end, that like semi shootout that happens with the shield and kid and all that also feels like it goes on for a bit. Because
there are some points in the movie where you genuinely are like, that kind of dumb. The precursor to the fact that the shield has to be used in the first place.
Yeah, why does he go into the shooting area? Like,
it is legitimately like stupid because the main character is aware of it. The main character also stresses, hey, we have a plan before it. And then it happens anyway. The baby has like this sound problem thing, so if it hears too loud of a noise, it'll get like an epilepsy attack. And
it does feel very convenient. Like there are sometimes where it's like, even though the door is closed, he's like being silent. And then there are sometimes where it's like gun shootouts are happening next to him. It's thoda hard for sure.
They don't kill the movie, obviously.
Less of a negative and more of a worry for me, because this is trying to be a universe and all that. I don't like when like the whole point of a sequel is just like, oh, remember in the first movie when you thought this is the threat? No, there was someone on top of it. And now it's like, no, there's someone on top of it. That sort of like writing. Maybe I hope they like diversify it in the next part so that it doesn't feel like the
Thanos is not the guy. There are now what's his name? Conqueror somebody. Oh no. This is the new bar for action movies.
It's such a fun movie. It is so entertaining. It is a great action film. It's a great thriller. It is shot well. It's a great Kamal Hassan return. It is just a fun movie that is very entertaining and very fun.
We didn't see Major and we went and watched this twice.
Vikram!
I give it a 9 out of 10.
I give it an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching this review. Like this video, share this video and subscribe to the channel. We will release a spoiler review very soon. I think there are a lot of spoilers to be discussed, and we will discuss it all and release it very soon.
We may watch it a third time before.
Yeah, by the time that happens. Vikram!